Do you ever feel like you need to disconnect from wrestling at any point?
I'll have a few times, but not necessarily from wrestling, but socials in general. I've just like deleted everything off my phone,
Really?
and just taken like sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's 2 weeks. I had a brick phone for like 2 months, so I lost my phone on the train, and I just didn't have $500 to buy a new one. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll just get a brick from the shop. So I
Yeah.
ran that for like 2 months. They were definitely an interesting time, but do I ever want to disconnect from wrestling? I don't know. I think like it's probably the only thing I really give a shit about outside of anything else, like family.
Mm.
I got I got a PS5, so when I've got a spare minute, I want to play that. Charlie will attest to how much time is spent on the PS5. If I'm not at work or I'm at home resting, just sitting there doing nothing, I'm thinking about wrestling. I'm watching
Yeah.
wrestling. Um, I think social stuff with wrestling can be really draining. And I think, but that comes again with like the way socials have evolved and the universe has never been as interconnected as it is now. People used to go home and, you wouldn't talk to another person for 12 hours. And, like we're doing now, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about wrestling because I'm at home. So I'm like,
100%.
let's talk about wrestling. Um, I understand people can get overwhelmed with it. I do
Yeah.
too. I do too. Sometimes it's just too much. If it comes that point now, I will just not reply to anything for like a week. And if I
Yeah.
need to do something urgently, I'll do that. And then like when I'm feeling back in the headspace, I'll just open everything up and try to reply to everything as quickly as I can, make sense of everything. If something comes up and I'm like, oh, I should probably respond to that because it needs to be responded to. I just
Yeah.
do that, casual. I think Instagram I have on silent, Facebook I have on silent. I have Messenger on proper notifications. My phone only dings if I'm getting a message I need to look at, basically.
Yeah. I used to have such a unhealthy relationship with like technology and shit, like especially with my
Yeah,
phone. Whereas like when I was running the podcast network, it was like at my absolute fucking like ridiculous busiest because I'm like posting on social media for 8 different podcasts a week. So there's like multiple shit going out daily. So since I sort of stepped away from that and just did my thing, it's like, okay, cool. I do my social media like, it's okay. Like if I put a podcast out and I've done one post about it, I'm not beating myself up if it's 3 days later and I haven't put out a clip or another thing. It's like
yeah.
it's okay. Like you know what I mean? Like I'll get to it, I'll do it, but it's like I don't put such a necessary pressure to be on social media all the time as I used to. You know what I mean?
This thing is the best and the worst thing on the planet.
Right.
You've got the power of the world.
Mm.
Everything that's ever happened ever that's been dictated, taken down. You've got it here.
Yeah. Any
What?
bit of information, anything in the world, bro. Like it's crazy because I think like we were having this conversation with Charlie when we finished that podcast where I was like, I didn't get my first phone till I was like 18, and even like no 17, and it was like you couldn't even send text messages at that time. You know what I mean? Like
It's
you literally could
yeah.
make phone calls. That's it. There was no other feature.
It was really nice having a brick that basically did that. It could text, and it had a store that I could buy games on, but it didn't work. And I was like, no, no Tetris.
Yeah.
But I had to get on the laptop and send the number out to everybody that I was like, you need my number. Pardon me. Like, I've lost my phone. Here's my new number. And then I'm getting a call on this little brick, and I'm like, "Ugh, the pickup button's not working. Hello, can you hear me? No. All right, I'll call you. Doesn't work. Oh well, they're not getting a hold of me till I get home and open up the computer.
How did you find that though? Like going
It
from
was so weird. I think I adjusted pretty quick, but I got a desk around that time and I set the laptop up on the desk. So I was sitting down at it every day, pulling it up, and I'm like, this is fine. I just carry the phone with me in the bum bag, and if it rings, try and pick it up.
Oh Jesus, man.
It's probably mum trying to get a hold of me. Where are you? I don't know, somewhere in Melbourne. Oh, be safe. Probably not.
Man, but you know what? It would have been like such a weird thing because it's like to not have something that you can just like click and check out anything that your friends are doing, or like, you know what I mean, like contact
My Candy Crush
anyone.
addiction is insane.
You well, the Candy
It's my
Crush
public transport saver. That one hurt because I was like, oh, I don't think I've got it like logged into my King account. I don't think I've got it saved. I did, but I was like, no Candy Crush. That sucked.